In this video, I'll show you how to extract the current auto number value using Power Automate. Now, just to give you a context, I have this model driven app which I have created. Now, within this model driven app, I have a table named as airports. Now, airport has a field named as airport auto number. So, if I click on new record, then if I just add an entry, let me pick up a city and I'll just pick up whatever value I want. So it's just like a dummy record. Now, as you see over here, the value has changed to IATA 7000. Now, the next record, if I add, now this next record has taken the value of 7001. So, what is an auto number? So, auto number is basically a column which allows you to add a record which is in an incremental fashion. So if you have a column within your Dataverse, now here I'll create a new column and one of the data type. So there is a data type of single line of text, number, date, and time. Now, similarly, we have auto number. Now, auto number here we have an option like if you want to have some sort of a unique number or if you have some sequence of numbers for either invoices or for orders or it can be anything, you can create that. Now here it will show you the demo, so it will increment by ones, 1000, 1001, 1002. But then if you want this number to start from say 7000, you can just type in 7000. And say take for example, if your company has some sort of a naming conventions, so if it is an invoice, maybe you prefix it with inv. So as you see over here, it has prefixed inv and says inv hyphen 7000. Now the minimum number of digits, as you see over here, it's 4. Now if I make it say 6, it prefixes two zeros. Okay, so similarly I can create whatever number I want, so I can make it 9 or 10 or whatever. Okay, so maybe let me add it as say maybe 4. So 4 is good, and this is how I can create that auto number. Now when you add a record, you keep on adding, say maybe take for example 3 records. Now the first record will hold the value of inv 7000 in the auto number field, then 7001 and 7002. Now during the entire process, now if I want to predict what will be the next number, you can easily look into the application and then you can now say, oh, the next number I think is 7002. But depending on the logic or depending on the view which you have access, it may not be correct every time. Like there might be some record which you may put it in say inactive mode, and then this record may not be visible over here. So I've deactivated this record, so in the view I can see 7000. Now if I click on new, it won't start with 7001 because 7001 already exists. Now if you want to know that number of that field, okay, then how do we get that number? Okay, so for that what we're going to do, we're going to make use of Power Automate. So I'll just go into say one of the solution. So let me go to one of the solution which I have created. Now here I'm going to create a Power Automate flow. Now simple new automation cloud flow, and this time I'll just create an instant flow because I just want to know what is the next auto number. Okay, so for that I will say auto number predictor, manually trigger a flow, click on create. Now what am I predicting? Now I have already created a field called as airport auto number, which is in the table airports. So you need to know the table name and you need to know the auto number column. So these are the two input. If you know, then I can easily say I can predict the next number. Now we know the next number is not 7001, but it will be 7002. So let's see if this is correct or not. So in order to do that, so first go to the Power Automate flow, and now you click on new. Now here, search for Dataverse connector, and within that there will be an action. You will find an action, and let's search for unbound action. So perform an unbound action. So this action is not dependent on any table. Now when you choose an action, just type in auto number, and it says you get the get auto number seed. Now I get the get an auto number seed, click on save. Now, before I click on save, it will ask me the entity name and the attribute name. So for which entity and which attribute do you want the auto number? Now, as I mentioned to you, this is the airport auto number column. Okay. Now, if I go inside this record, you will see this is the field which I am talking about. Now, the table name, if you want to know the table name, so let's go into the table name of airport. So let me close this. So the table name is airport, and the logical name, if you want to know the logical name, go to the properties and try looking the logical name. Now this is the logical name, so I'll copy the logical name over here and put it under entity name. Now attribute name, which auto number column are you exactly talking about? So I'm talking about airport auto number. Now another way to get the column a column logical name is I'm using a tool called as level up. So if I click on logical name, then I get to see the logical name of this particular column, airport auto number. So I'll just copy this and paste it in Power Automate, and that's it. Here it will give you the auto number seed. Now what output are we expecting? We are expecting a value of 7002. 7000 we have already created, 7001 we have created, but it has gone into inactive record state, and now we would expect the Power Automate flow should return 7002. Now if you want to get to know the output, you can put a compose, so data operation compose, and here you can take an output of the unbound, perform an unbound action. So here you get auto number seed response, auto number seed value. So this is the output we want. We click on save, and now once this flow is ready, we'll just go ahead and run it. The flow is run successfully, and now if I go into the compose action, you will see it has given me perform an unbound action. It says get auto number seed, and it has given me get auto number seed response, auto number seed value. Now the seed value over here is 7000. Now I have opened this in a modern designer view. So in the output, so we had put a compose action where we have taken the output as get auto number seed response. Now I'm going to add another compose, and here I'm going to pick up the another output which is provided by perform an unbound action, but this time I'm going to use a modern interface. Now here under inputs, select the dynamic action, and here we have selected get auto number seed response previously. Now let's just get auto number seed response. I'll click on publish and test. Now as it has run, so as you see over here, so it has given me the seed value as 7000, and the auto number seed value field in the response as 7000, and it will give me the O data context as an output. So this is that O data context as an output. So if you see the show output, this is what it is going to give me as a like a link through which, like, now we can programmatically also access this particular URL. Okay, now it has given me the seed value, right? 7000. Now, what if we want to change the value? Now, this I'm going to cover in another video. So we have another unbound action which allows us to set the seed value. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically extract the seed number value. Now, remember the seed number value which you're going to get. Now here, we know the next number would be 7002, 7003, but then it has started from this number 7000. Now it has given me this output because it will let you know what will be the seed value. Now from a model driven app. So if you go into the backend Dataverse, so let me go into the backend Dataverse, and here under airport we have this auto number field, so airport auto number. Now if you want to know what the seed value is, you can anyways go over here, click on edit column, and then here you will see the seed value. So this is the output which we are getting. Now programmatically you have done the auto number field and this will automatically increment it. But think about it, like if you're building an application and currently you are in dev environment, and if you are using any value, and now if you deploy in say UAT or a production environment, and now if you deployed with a value of 7,000, and say take for example in production you tested it, and now in the second build when you deploy you want the value to change from 1,000. Okay, so if you want to change that value to 1000, then there is another way through which you can set the seed value programmatically. Okay, now we have seen get seed value which will give you this seed value, but then there is another method which you can use in the unbound action which will allow you to set the seed value. So the seed value, this value will never will you will not be able to transport it from one environment to another. Like if you first time you deploy, you get that seed value 7,000. So if you deploy this on dev, it will be 7,000. If you deploy it on prod, it will be 7,000. Now, take for example, in the next iteration, if you change this to say 1,000 in dev environment, and now if you ship the solution, this will still remain at 7,000. So this will not change in the different environment. So that means this is not solution aware. And that's the reason we have to use the seed value to set that seed value in different environment. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically use the function to get the current seed value from a specific tables column which is of type auto number. Thanks for watching.